Hi, this is Toby from CuteCutter.com. In this video, we'll be making a multi-layered Cricut project from a photo. We'll start with a photo. We'll turn it into an SVG using CuteCutter.com. We'll use some of the advanced features of CuteCutter, like the touch-up tools and multiple layers. Then we'll cut some heat transfer vinyl with our Cricut to make this tote bag of a cat with glowing holographic eyes. So we'll start by going to CuteCutter.com, click the Get Started button, and then we'll upload our photo. I'll choose this JPG, spooky.jpg, that's my sister's cat. Open. And the first thing I'll do is remove the background. So I click this Remove Background. And now I need to draw over the foreground, my subject, Spooky the cat. And I'll draw over it in this green brush that's Mark Foreground, and then I'll mark the background. So I'll start drawing over the background, and the computer will automatically make a separation between what it thinks is the subject of your photo and the background. And this is looking pretty good, but I'm going to just zoom in a bit and make a few little corrections. Let's try to show it where the real foreground and background are. That's looking better. And then I want to get these whiskers. But these are really small, so I'll make a smaller brush size and then draw over these whiskers. And I want to clean up here to get these separated a bit. That looks pretty good. That looks like I've separated my subject from my background. So since I'm happy with that, I'll click Done. And now we've separated the foreground and background. If you ever want to make an adjustment to that, you can always click Remove Background again and make little adjustments. Now I'm going to play with these different settings for sort of how CuteCutter interprets the image. So the different settings, the blur will change the detail level. So if it's really small, then you'll get really tiny details. And if it's large, you'll get, sort of blobby details. So I want somewhere around here. Edge contrast will emphasize any edges or any texture on your subject. So like hair, for example, will come out really strong if this is really high. So I'll sort of tune that in. And then the threshold is how sort of white or black the cutout's going to be, so you can tune that as well. So at this point, I want to actually clean this up using the touch-up tools. And to do that, I'll open up this panel that says Touch-Ups. And the first one is the paintbrush. And I'm going to make sort of a medium-sized brush. And you can choose what color you want to paint with. So I want to paint with black to get started so that I can sort of clean up these areas that I don't think add to the image. I want this to be sort of a simple image. I don't want it to be too busy with all this stuff happening here. So I'll get rid of some of these details. I'm I'm going to keep changing my brush size so that I can get into the parts where I want to get in. I especially want to clean up the face because I want the eyes to really stick out. So I'm just going to get rid of a lot of the stuff that I think isn't really necessary for this image. Get rid of some of these little bits of fur that aren't really contributing. Leave some of it. And then the other thing I can do is I can show my original photograph versus my cutout, and I can move the slider somewhere in between if I want to sort of see both at the same time. This is going to come out really thin. I think I'm going to draw over that. Can also zoom in. I like this whisker, but I sort of want it to be one continuous whisker, so I'm going to choose white as my touch-up color, make a smaller brush, just make that a single thing. Maybe I'll do the same here. So I'm just making little adjustments. I think I also want to make sure that you can see these whiskers. So I'm going to put a bit of an outline around them. In general, I think having a black outline helps things pop. This is what our cutout looks like so far. And the other thing I'm going to do is, so by default the background color is pink, but I am going to be putting this design on a white tote bag. So I'm going to set the background color to be white so that I can see what it's going to look like on the tote bag. And I can see that I'm going to want to sort of clean up the sort of silhouette of Spooky to make him more cat-shaped. Undo that. Yeah, if there's ever anything you want to get back, you can always just undo. Once again, I really want to have an outline. Like a full outline around Spooky. So, you know, like this, I think, looks a little sloppy. I'm going to just complete the outline. Maybe too big. Make a smaller brush. So I'm just, you know, changing my brush size, looking at the original, looking at the cutout, making little adjustments. Undoing if I need to. Changing between white and black if I need to, so I'm going to sort of cut out some of this down here to make more of a cat shape. And then the eyes I think are really important, so you know, Spooky's got these big, I guess, pupils here, and then there's this nice white highlight that really makes the eyes bright. And so I really want to capture this, so I'm going to put a little bit more of the black here. And then I want to make sure to add in those highlights. So I'm going to pick white, make a small brush, and I'll zoom in a bit. Get those highlights in. Make little adjustments here and there. All right, that's looking pretty good. And now for the final little touch, I want to, instead of just making a black on white tote bag, I want to use a second layer of holographic around Spooky's eyes here. So you'll notice in the original photo you can see he's got these sort of greenish glowing eyes. And to do that, I'll pick another color. So I'll just pick this color, a little purple to represent the holographic, and then I'll use the fill tool. So the paint bucket fill tool will let me click on an area, and then it will fill that area with the selected color. So I'm just going to fill both of those areas with this purple color, so that I have, there are going to be these two layers. There's going to be the black normal HTV, and then this purple holographic HTV. And you can see the layers in this layers panel. So if you click this triangle to open up the layers panel, you'll see that there are these three layers, and they'll highlight as you move your mouse over them. So on top there's the eyes, which will be holographic, and then there's the black HTV, and then there's just the white background layer, which we won't need. And then the only other subtle thing is that these layers, you can click this button where it says layered and switch between layered and inlay. And so what layered will do is it will put material for anything that would be above it. And so in this case, there'd be this big black area, including where the eyes are. And then by saying layered, it means you're intending to put another layer of vinyl on top of that layer. But then inlay is for if I want to put another layer of vinyl sort of inlaid onto this other one, so they won't actually be layered on top. So that's just sort of a subtle thing that you can change depending on how you're doing your design. So I like how this is going. I'll point out one final feature is that there's this eraser. So if you click the erase touch-ups, it will show you everywhere that you've drawn, and then you can erase over that if you want to get back your original thing. So I'll set my brush a little bit bigger, and then, for example, if I erase over this, you can see there's this other stuff. I'm going to undo that because I want to keep that. Or for example, if I didn't like what I did with the eyes, I could just erase all that and then that's what the original thing was before I started painting over it. Once again, I'm going to undo that since I really like what I've done with the eyes. So yeah, all this glowing yellow stuff is everywhere that I've changed the image, and then the eraser lets me get rid of that glowing yellow stuff to show what was underneath it. So that's how the eraser works. So since I'm satisfied with this, I'm going to click download. And if you don't have an account, you'll be asked to create an account. If you have an account, you can sign in if you're not already signed in. And then it will let you download your file. You can change the file name if you need to. Click download. And then it will go into your downloads folder. And then from there you can go to Cricut Design Space to make your design. So let's do that. All right, so here I am in Cricut Design Space. I'll make a new project. Click Upload. Upload image. Then I'm going to browse to find my spooky.svg that I created in Cutter. Click Open. Click Save. So now I can select this design and click Insert Images. There it is. You don't need this white background part, so I'm just going to hide that. So now I just have the two layers that I care about. There's this black part, my black HTV, and then my holographic HTV for the eyes. Another thing you're going to want to do is probably scale your image. So you select the whole thing and then manipulate this resizer here and figure it out so that the dimensions are what you want to fit on your tote bag. So once you have whatever you want for your design, you click Make It. And make sure to turn on mirroring if you're using heat transfer vinyl. Cut your heat transfer vinyl with the shiny side down. Weed out the negative parts of your image. And now we'll apply it to our garment. So preheat your garment and place your first layer down. Use a piece of parchment paper over it to protect it. Apply a short heat press to tack it on. We'll be applying another press with the second layer, so you don't need to do a full press just yet. Just enough for the vinyl to stick so that you can peel the backing off. Now place your second layer, the holographic vinyl. Apply a full press. I'm doing 30 seconds at 305 degrees. The eye didn't fully stick, so I'm going to apply a bit more heat. And apply a bit of heat from the back. And you're done. I hope you found this video helpful. We'll be posting more video tutorials like this, so please like and subscribe. See you next time!